What's up guys, in this video I'm going to be covering a couple of katas from Codewars. I've picked two in advance and I'm going to start with the easier one, I think level 6Q. Yep, this one. So just very quickly to read through the question, let me just zoom in a bit. Write a function that will return a count of distinct case insensitive alphabetic characters and numeric digits that occur more than once in the input string. The input string can be assumed to contain only alphabets, both uppercase and lowercase, and numeric digits. Okay, so basically check for duplicates. If we have, for example, A, B, C, D, E, there's no duplicate. If you've got double A, double B, C, D, E, we've got two duplicates, A and B. And if we have double A, small b, capital B, C, D, E, we still have two, being A and B. Indivisibility, not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but there's only one in there and it's I, occurring 6 times. So basically check for duplicates, but only count each letter as one duplicate and not 6. So you wouldn't count I as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It would just be 1. Oh, that's, I think it's 5, 4, 5, 6, yeah. Okay, I'm going to use JavaScript because it's just easier. So it looks like I'm going to have to loop through the text. But before that, let's just create the variables that we're going to need. I need to store the characters in an array. So the characters that I find. And by that I mean the duplicates that I find. So I'm just going to put it in a chars array for characters. And then every time I find a character, I don't want to find it again. So I'm going to have a done array where I can store the characters I've already found. And also the return will be exists count. This could be anything really. I mean, feel free to name it anything, but I'm using this as the name of my variable. And then I'm going to loop through this text, but first I need to convert it into an array from a string using split. And we're going to map through the array, and this will be the character. We'll give it C. And now, so that basically means we need to check if the C is in the cars array and at the same time not in done array. And that basically means if it's in the cars array, it's a duplicate. But if it's not in the done array, that means we haven't already accounted for it in the exists count. But if it's in the cars array and it's in the done array, that means we've already incremented this for this letter previously. This will make more sense once we type it out, but I'm just thinking the solution through first. So C includes cars array includes, and we want to check for the C, but we lowercase it because we want to have it case insensitive. Let's space that out a bit. So we've got that, and we also want to add the done array. So if it's not in done array, like we said, includes C to lowercase again. If it's not in done array, then what we want to do is increment. I'm going to put this in a new line. Should I? I think I've already get rid of this. Yeah, let's put it in a new line. We want to do what? We want to increment the exists count. And we also want to add a comma to do something else. We want to add this to the done array. So we want to add this character to the done array because this character is the first time we're coming across it. I'm just checking the parentheses are correct. It looks fine. And then we want to add else. What do we want to do if that wasn't the case? We want to basically push the character to the cause array. So we want to do cause array dot push. We're going to do C to lowercase. And then we want to close it all off like this. This looks quite long, and usually I would have it on one line, which I think I'm gonna do actually, just because I think it looks better that way, although it's harder to read. But I'll explain it one more time after we test it. Here we basically just want to return the exists count, right? And then we just want to test that to see that's working. Let's test it. Lowercase is not a function. Okay, we've messed up here somewhere. That should be fine. And we've done the same error here as well. Hopefully that should be fine now. Okay, that looks good. So basically, to recap, we needed to get the duplicate count, which is the characters that appear more than once, and each character is only to be accounted for once. So if we have a duplicates of A and B in B again, it would only be 2 letters that are being duplicated, so the result will be 2. So to do that, we've created 2 different arrays. One for the characters array, where we will store the characters that we've already seen or looped through, and the done array is the character or the array that holds the characters that we have already accounted for. So for example, if we've seen A once, we'll add it to the cause array, and we'll also add it to the done array. The next time we see A, we won't do anything because it's already in the done array. So we've already accounted for it. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm looping through the text. First, I'm switching the text from string to array using split, and then looping through the array, passing in the character, and then checking if that character exists in cause array, and also if it's not in done array, then we increase the exists count by 1. And if that's not the case, then we would do a cause array dot push to add it to the array. So for example, if I use this code with this example right here, we run through the code and we see A once, and A is not in the cause array and it's not in the done array. So this condition will be false. It will add 1 to the exist. Actually, it won't add 1. Sorry, this is false. So it will go to cause array push, and it will add it to this array. And now if it goes through again and it sees A again, it's going to check, is this true? Cause array includes A. Yes, it does. We've just added A. And is it inside done array? It's not, because it's the first time or the second time that we're countering it. So we add an exists count, or we increment the exists count variable, and we add it or push it to the done array, so that if we see A for the 3rd time, we don't do anything. And we just continue with that. So for A, you will have an increment of 1 for exists count, and for B, you will also have an increment of 1, and the output should be 2. Hopefully that is clear. If it's not, feel free to leave any comments below and I'll make sure I respond to those or answer them. But if we test that again and try to attempt it, hopefully it'll run through without any issues. It looks like it's done just that, which is perfect. And we can move on to the slightly harder one. And this is 6 and this one should be 5. Okay, for this one, let's read the problem together. The marketing team is spending way too much typing spending way too much time typing in hashtags, let's help them with our hashtag generator, with our own hashtag generator. Here's the deal. It must start with the hashtag. Yes, it does. Of course, it's a hashtag generator. All words must have their first letter capitalized. Okay. If the final result is longer than 140 characters, it must return false. If the input or the result is an empty string, it must return false. So in these two instances, it needs to return false. Otherwise, it needs to go through and take every word and capitalize its first letter, and then remove all the spaces basically and fit it together. The way I'm going to do this is I'm going to start by first covering these two. These two right here that return false. Again, I'm using JavaScript, so if the input is empty, we want to return false. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do string.trim to remove any spaces equals to empty string, return false. So that's the first one. The second one we can do, we'll include it with the last part as well. So we'll generate the final word or the final result, and then check that final result if it's 140 characters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a final word variable, and I'm going to set it to, I think we can do it here. So what we want to do is we want to do string.match, because we want to use a regex to try and get rid of these extra spaces that they have here in this example. And basically what I'm going to do is try to match all the words in the string. So to do that, you can do / and within here we'll add the word option. So this will basically match the word, and we'll give it a global so that it goes through the whole string and not just stop after the first match. So this will match all the words and put them into an array for us without the spaces. It will basically get rid of all the spaces, and then from here we can map that array. So we'll have an array of all the words. For example, here we'll have an array of hello there, thanks for trying my kata, whatever. So we'll pass in the word, and then we want to capitalize the first letter. So that would be word index 0 to uppercase, which is a function in JavaScript, plus the remainder of the word, which will be word dot slice, which is basically a function that gives us a slice. Gives us an array with the argument being the start and finish of that array. So which index you want it to start at and which index you want it to finish at, I believe. So we're going to start it at 1 because we already have the first letter right here capitalized. So that's done, and then if that works, we should get an array with all the words having the first letter capitalized, and then we want to join that array into a string back to how it was, and then we want to return that final word if the length is less than 140. So we'll do 100 and we'll do final word dot length. Is it greater than 140? If it is, we want to return false because of this right here. If it's not, then we want to return final word. And there's one more thing that needs to be done, which is adding a hashtag to the beginning of the string. So if I was to test this, as you can see, we've done that, expected a hashtag at the beginning. So we've got the string formatted as we'd like it to be formatted, but we're missing the hashtag at the beginning. So we'll just add a hashtag here, hashtag should be, whoops, excuse me, we do a hashtag plus, and that should concatenate our string and add it together. Let me test this real quick, and I'm going to attempt it and then explain it just in case there are issues. Okay, we don't have any issues, looks like it's good. So basically what we did here, again, looking at the instructions, we wanted to take in a string and then return a string that has all the capital letters, or the first letters of every word capitalized, and no spaces between these words, and a hashtag at the start of the string. So to do that, we just took the string, we tried to match all the words out of the string without any spaces, just the words, and then we looped through each word and we returned the first letter of the word capitalized and the remainder of the letter, or the remainder of the word, sorry. So the first letter of the word capitalized and then the remainder of the word concatenated together to give us that same word again, and then we joined that from an array to a string, because .map gives you a string, sorry, an array, and we want to change that array and pull out a string from it. So we do .join, and at the start of that string we just added a hashtag, and then we added the final check at the bottom here to check if the final result or final word is bigger than 140, we return false, otherwise we return final word. I believe, I'm sure there's other developers that were able to do this in one line, but I'm happy with this solution, to be honest. We could take a quick look at other solutions, and I'm already seeing a couple of lines, which is quite surprising, to be honest. But there's two functions here, there's one function with about 5 lines here. This one looks quite good with the reduce. Yeah, there's 100 ways of doing the same thing. Look at this guy, he got it done in one line. So he did a trim, which we did, and then a split, and then a filter. There's a lot. Okay, I'm not gonna go through all of this right now, but I think that's it for this video. If you have benefited at all, then feel free to leave a comment to let us know. Make sure you like, subscribe, and if you have any requests for any videos or any questions that you'd like me to answer for you, then feel free to just drop them in the comments. Till next time.